the years, well, the last, I'd say 2 3 years, you've spent on the road pretty much. So how much of the music on the record was written already before you kind of took a break and started?
I'd say, I mean, a few songs had kind of been around, like "Give Me All Your Love" and "Miss You." Those songs had kind of been around for a while, but not much was written during the touring.
Maybe at 1/4 of it, maybe
Yeah.
something like
And
that.
Brittany, I think, was working on things in her own time, but a lot of stuff started coming together once we booked studio time and said, okay, now we're going to officially start making an album.
Okay. Well, in the bio it also said that a lot of songs started a certain way and then in the recording process they changed significantly. Can you give me an example of one of those songs that you had an idea for and that turned out totally
I
different?
think the only big example of that's "The Greatest."
Okay.
And it just started out as more of a ballad, like a softer, slower song that was still pretty interesting, but we just weren't having much luck moving forward with it and making an actual song out of the idea. And so Blake, our co-producer for this record, suggested speeding the song up immensely, and that had a great effect and, really inspired us to work hard on the song. But that would probably be the only example of a song taking a drastic change.
Yeah, I think most of them were, I mean, fairly close to the way we had planned or the demo was, but maybe they took a different mood or something while we were recording them. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sometimes sonically things changed from where I had envisioned them going, but there wasn't a plan or anything like that.
And well, there wasn't a plan musically. Would you? I assume this is different for each song. But would you generally start with the music and then add the lyrics later, or?
Well, a lot of these songs, a good chunk of them, Brittany had done. She wrote them and demoed them, lyrics and music, on her computer at home with like MIDI keyboards and things like that. And so our job was just to take those songs and record them as a band with our instrumentation and make it something that's more of us than just a demo.
Right.
But a lot of them are really, I don't know, a lot of the credit goes to her, and they were completed almost by the time she brought them to us.
Mm-hmm. Was this the case for the previous record as well, the way the writing process went?
It was different the last time. I mean, some of those songs on the last record were demos that Zac and Brittany had made before they even made the demos with Steve. Okay. I think maybe Boys and Girls was one of those. It was just this little song they had written, and as I joined the band and we started recording more, we started going through some of their old demos and brought new life to them.
Right.
And then some were written on the spot while we would rehearse at Brittany's house. And then some of the songs she just kind of had a foundation of that she wrote on her own. It was really different.
Right.
And this one is different too. Each song, a lot of the songs came different ways, but most of them came directly from Brittany.
When she would bring a song in, would you then discuss kind of her vision of it, or would she let you guys go free and then do whatever?
I think we were pretty free to do whatever, but I think most of us wanted to stay pretty true to the demo because there was a mood in there that felt good, and we wanted to keep that mood.
And in terms of the lyrics as well, would you discuss them with Brittany?
No, not much discussion of the lyrics. Which is, I think, the way she likes it for fans anyways. I think she likes people to interpret it their own way.
Right. And, well, the album is called Sound and Color after the opening track. When in the process did the title pop up? When to call it that?
For me, there was a moment, and it wasn't even said out loud, but it was right after we tracked Sound and Color and we listened to the playback, And there was immediately a discussion after that this should be the first track on the record. And I remember I was thinking at that moment that would be a cool title. And I remember Brittany said, "Oh, and it could be." Then she said, "Never mind." And then I think she was thinking the same thing. It just seemed natural, and it seemed like a song we were all proud of.
Does the song hold a certain significance then?
Not for me lyrically, no. It's not that I dislike the lyrics. I just haven't spent much time focusing on the story of the song. But as a song itself, and as a opening track on the record, I think it's really important to where we are now and what we've progressed into doing.
And then, well, this progression, the word has come up a couple times now. How do you see this progression from the first album to here? Obviously, you've played a lot together, so has it been a big change?
It didn't seem, if this felt just the same as making the first record to me, aside from we spent more time in the studio, but it didn't feel like a real different process. But when you listen back, like I hadn't listened to the first record in a long time, and listening back, it's definitely different, and it kind of made me realize like people are going to be hearing a pretty different side of us. But there wasn't too much thought into that. You know, it was just like we just went in and these were the songs that we ended up doing, and they all felt really good to us, and we're proud of them. So it wasn't. We didn't set in to be like, let's make a record that's completely different or anything like that. I don't even think we ever said like, let's go in there and just make an experimental record or anything. It was just that's just the way it ended up being, and it wasn't much thought put into it as far as just making songs that we like and enjoy.
Right. Well, this is going to be a little bit unfair question, but Zach, do you know what Heath's favorite song on the track?
What Heath's favorite song is? If I had to just,
I like this question.
If I had to guess, I would say, "Give Me All Your Love."
Yeah, that's one of them. To me, that one's a really important one. I like a lot of them, though. I feel like I've played them all out. Just, I don't know, during mixing and things like that, critiquing them. And I know which one's Zach's favorite, though.
Which is?
Over My Head.
Yeah.
I just heard him say that.
Yeah, I like that one.
Why the song in particular?
I don't know. It does something for me. It's just it's sort of an interesting song to me, and for whatever reason, it just catches me a little more. It may honestly just be because it's the last song we tracked and it's the freshest on my mind, but I don't know, something about it just grabs me a little more than the others, but I can't really put my finger on what it is. I just really like that song.
And then Heath, for you, Give Me All Your Love. What makes this song a little bit more special to you?
I think just because it was one of the earlier ones, and we did this really rough demo of it in rehearsals years ago.
Right.
And it was just like an accident that just happened to be recorded almost. And I kept hoping something would come from it. And slowly but surely it did. And I was just really proud of the way it turned out in the end.
Okay. Well, finally then, you've been off the road for a while. So what's the mindset now that it's kind of starting up again and that you can...
I'm excited. I think it's an exciting time. You know, I feel like we're really fortunate. We got a record coming out. We've got shows booked, and just we can be busy, and that's fun. You know, we get to play music, and I just really look forward to all that.
Yeah, it is exciting because we've been kind of just stuck in a studio or home, and mainly just looking forward to doing a good job, like getting these songs where they need to be to play them for people. Right. And that's going to be fun. We've done a couple shows where we've played the whole record, 2 shows, and it went pretty well. So it's got me pumped to just like keep getting the songs better, because you got to kind of work them into a live setting. So
was there some sort of anxiety or maybe, well, anxiety might not be the right word, but to have people hear them and to see what they think?
Mainly just to play them for me is like when we were doing sound check for this, it was like, I don't know, I started getting really nervous for some reason, but once we played the show, it was like, it's fine. But it's just like, well, I guess just the thought of doing a bunch of new material that honestly we haven't even played much outside the studio. Right. So it was a little bit, I was a little nervous, but once we did it, it's like, man, this feels good. And it's fun to see people's reaction. Like I feel like a lot of people were just like, that, I guess that's a new one, but it's fun to see how people react to these, and we haven't had much chance to do that, but we're about to, so.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.